Welcome back to my channel. In today's video we shall be learning how to draft a pattern for this dress and also how to sew it. This is part 1 of the video. This is a sketch of the clothes I intend making. This is the back and this is the front. It has a bateau built up neckline and a flutter sleeve. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a part of this dart here, that's the side bust dart, and transfer it to the mid neckline area. To do that, we're going to measure the entire neckline. Whatever we get, we divide it by 2, and then we mark it like so. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a straight line from this point where we have marked to the bust point. Next, we're going to go ahead and slash this line to the bust point, but not through it. Now, the quantity of that to be transferred from the side bust to the neck area is half an inch. So we'll open it up like this at exactly half an inch. We'll then go on and place a piece of paper under, like this. Then measure to see that our extension is exactly half an inch. I'll go in with a tape and hold it down like so. Now that I have gone ahead and redrawn my neckline and cut off the excess, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place another piece of paper under like this. I'm using a brown piece of paper for contrast. I'll place it like this and ensure that the center front is properly aligned like so. Then go on and hold it with a tape. Now from this center front line here, I'm going to extend the shoulder by 3/4 of an inch. That's from the tip of the shoulder here to this point. I'll measure 3/4 of an inch like this and mark. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide my shoulders into 2, measure each, whatever I get, I mark it like so. At this point, I'll further divide from the divided mid shoulder here to the neck area by 2. Now at this point here, the second division, I'm going to measure 3/4 of an inch like so. Now from B here, that's the mid shoulder here, I'm going to measure 1.5 inch towards this mark. So in whatever I do, I have to make sure that I get 1.5 inch. That would stop at 3/4 of an inch, which is the second mark here. So I would measure like this. Then I'll connect it with a ruler like this. We're drafting as per Helen Armstrong's instruction in her book Pattern Making, I think, 5th edition. So from this point here, that's this 3/4 of an inch here, I'm going to draw a new neckline that goes like this to this 3/4 of an inch here. And this becomes our new neckline. And this is our new neckline for the front. You can see it's very easy. We still have a dart here and a dart here. Now to the back. So this is our back dress block. We have a shoulder dart here, a waist dart, and that's it. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to do something similar to what we did with the front block. We're going to transfer this dart to the mid neckline of the back bodice. So we'll measure the entire neckline. That's the entire back neckline. Whatever we get, we divide it by 2 and we mark it like so. Next thing we're going to do is we're now going to transfer this dart here. To do that, we're going to measure a line, say 3 to 4 inches long, straight down. To get the straight line, we're just going to measure from here, that's the center back, to the point where we marked it, just so we would have a straight line. We'll then go ahead and slash that line. And then we close up this dart. We'll slash this line like this. And then we pick this one and place it under like this. As you can see, it has opened up this piece here, which means we have transferred the dart from the shoulder area to the neck area, and this is it. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to measure the entire shoulder area and divide it by 2, just like we did in the front bodice. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place a piece of paper underneath. When I place the piece of paper, I'm going to make sure that it aligns with the center back like this. Okay, we'll further divide this part into 2 like this, and at this point we'll measure 3/4 of an inch, and then from the divided shoulder part we're going to measure 1.5 inch towards the 3/4 of an inch. Fine, we'll just connect it like this. Now we're going to connect from this point here, that's the 3/4 of an inch we initially drew, to our neckline to create our new neckline. So I'm going to cut off the excess and I'll show you what we have in the end. And this is what our neckline now looks like after cutting off the excess. Now to the waist area. You notice that our waist area is a straight center back. We don't want that. We want our back, that's the center of our back, to fit in the way our body is designed by God. To do that, we're going to go on and measure 1/2 inch. It depends on the size of the person's buttocks. That's your client's buttocks. It depends on the person's size. I usually use 1/2 inch for myself because my buttocks is not that great. But where you have a curvy buttocks, you have to take in more than that. Now at this point here, I'm going to draw a straight line to the back towards the neck area like this. And then towards the hem, I'm going to use my curve like this. Now using my scissors, I'm going to cut off the excess. And as you can see, our center back is no longer straight, it is curvy. We're not done yet. The waist, I'm going to slash the waist area like this. I'll be careful not to slash it entirely away from the other piece. I just need it to be very close to the end of the waist area. Next thing I'm going to do is at this point here, that's the lower part from the part where I slashed, I'm going to measure 1/2 inch like this. And then I would now move the bottom piece to go under the upper piece like this, thereby reducing the length of the center back and removing the excess that may be around here after a zipper has been fixed. I'm going to hold it down with a tip. This is our sleeve block. I have gone ahead and created slash lines on the sleeve block. Next thing I'm going to do is just to go ahead and slash them. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place another piece of paper under and then spread it. Now that I'm done slashing, I'm going to spread it. To spread, I'm going to place a piece of paper under and go ahead and spread. You go ahead and spread it however you want. But while spreading, ensure that the cap doesn't move and it remains where it is. I'm now going to go in with a curve. I'll then go in and slash. And this is now the pattern for our new armhole. We're going to label it F here for front and B here for back. So this is our front bodice and this is our back bodice. I have gone ahead and traced the back bodice again because I realized that if I was going to use the other pattern I have, I wouldn't be able to do something like this because the side of that other pattern was on this side. You would notice that the front is longer than the back, and that's because of this dart here. As soon as this dart is closed here, everything would be the same. So you would make sure that you align the hem like this. Using a tip, I'm going to hold them together. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and determine how long and how deep I want the lower parts of the dress to start from. So I'm just going to use 5 inches for the front. That was what I used, in fact, 5 inches. So I measured 5 inches from the hem. And at the center back here, I just went as high as I could to the hip area. So I ended up with something like this. Using a curve, I then went ahead and drew a curve like this. Okay. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and draw slash lines. At this point here where the front and back meet, I'm going to use a tape to hold it down. This is what becomes of our pattern pieces. This is back, this is front. And then go ahead and label this one CF and CB. Now I'll take this off and work with this one. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut out the slash lines, but not off. And this is it. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and spread this on another piece of paper. Spread it, I'm going to place it, a piece of paper under like this. Now, I would ensure that the center front here aligns with this edge here, and then go ahead and spread so that the center back also aligns with the straight edge here of this brown paper. I would hold it down with tips, then go ahead and draw the curve. Now using my curve, I'm just going to go in. So I'll go in like this. For the part that isn't smooth, I'm going to smoothen it over with my free hand. I'll then go ahead and cut off the excess. You just go in with your free hand and smoothen it, because there are no crooked lines in pattern drafting. If you're better off with your free hand, you go ahead and use your free hand. And this is it.